Dare to guess the answer.
1. Who was the first man to walk on the moon? Neil Armstrong. 2. Who was the first man to reach the summit of Mount Everest? Sir Edmund Hillary. 3. Who was the first man to sail around the world? Ferdinand Magellan. 4. Who was the first man to complete a solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean? Charles Lindbergh. 5. Who was the first man to win the Nobel Prize in Literature? Ali Prithom. 6. Who was the first man to reach the South Pole? Roald Amundsen. 7. Who was the first man to discover America? Christopher Columbus. 8. Who was the first man to win the Nobel Prize in Physics? Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. 9. Who was the first man to win the Oscar for Best Actor? Emil Jannings. 10. Who was the first man to climb Mount Kilimanjaro? Hans Meyer. 11. Who was the first man to orbit the Earth? Gagarin. 12. Who was the first man to win the Nobel Prize in Chemistry? Jacobus Henricus van 't Hoff. 13. Who was the first man to win the FIFA World Cup as a captain? Obdulio Varela. 14. Who was the first man to sail around the world solo? Joshua Slocum. 15. Who was the first man to win the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine? Emil von Behring. 16. Who was the first man to climb Mount Everest without supplemental oxygen? Reinhold Messner. 17. Who was the first man to win the Tour de France? Maurice Garin. 18. Who was the first man to win the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction? Ernest Hemingway. 19. Who was the first man to reach the North Pole? Robert Parry. 20. Who was the first man to run a mile in under 4 minutes?